What's up, guys? Chooch out here on the King Song S18, and we're doing some city riding today. Everybody thought it couldn't be done. Everybody thought, oh, you need a Sherman for this. This wheel is definitely not fast enough for the city. I say in some cases it's not, but it definitely is a fun wheel in the city. You can have a blast with this. One thing I think this wheel would definitely do, if you're a new rider and you choose to get this wheel, is it's going to be very tempting to do a lot more with it, and you're going to develop your skills extremely fast. So compared to, the wheels I was stuck with, the hard axle wheels, the 16 S's, the air wheels back in the day, the 9-bot, whatever, you were kind of limited, to what you could do with it, and you didn't want to tear your equipment up and whatnot, and just by jumping it and everything. So I think you'll be able to develop your skills extremely fast on this thing. If you get it as a new rider and you just really get into the hobby, and you spend some time on it every day, you will get good with this wheel. Like you really will get good, and then any other wheel will just feel absolutely natural to you. One wheel, all that stuff. One thing though with the suspension that I don't want people doing is just developing a lazy riding style with it. It's important to have your knees bent. It's important to ride with that same riding style that you would normally ride a non-suspension unicycle with. And you're more of using the suspension basically to develop a lazier riding style. That's one key thing that I can tell you straight off the bat. The suspension setup on the S18 and the way that you can really grip it and all that will make most riders develop a bent knee riding style, where you're going to want to grip the wheel, where you're going to want to be able to hit those jumps and stuff like that. With the InMotion V11, there's a bad caveat to it, because I feel like if that's your first wheel, you definitely will develop a poor riding posture. You really have to have bent knees, and I know in some of these circumstances it may not look like my knees are extremely bent, but they are. I'm telling you, that is everything. Even with suspension, you have to have bent knees. If you do tank a pothole or whatever, yeah, suspension is going to help, but if it's a big enough pothole or big enough bump in the road, whatever, you got to have bent knees, and bent knees are everything. You see my knees right here just moving. Like I'm looking at that right now, and it is absolutely incredible how much my knees are moving. And just riding loose, you want your center of gravity low, you want to be loose, you want your knees bent, and you want to be on the balls of your feet. You want to be right there on the balls of your feet. And I'll do a video soon about the riding posture, where you want your feet at on the pedals, because I feel like that's a key thing for the King Song S18. And it's not as straightforward as you think it is. It's honestly like I can tell you from looking at all my wheels and the grip tape and where the wear points are, exactly what my riding posture is, and I think relaying that to y'all would probably help. But anyways, this thing, I mean, it's flowing great around town right here. I'd say inner city riding, it's perfect. Around here most people are going under 45 miles an hour. Reflective vest is absolutely key in a city like this. I mean, I don't live in the city anymore, but going back to just film this video, I don't even take chances with it at all. Granted, with COVID and all that, there is less people on the road, but I found the people that are driving on the road are driving faster and a lot less unaware right now. So reflective vest, you'll see many times in this video where this thing, it comes in extreme handy. And I'm talking about those right hooks. You know what I'm talking about, where you're in the bike lane and a car. That's why I advocate most of the time for not riding in the bike lane. That's when a veteran Sherman would be good, where you can actually hop in the road and you're not in the bike lane. I think the bike lane is absolutely one of the most unsafe places to ride, because you have a full line of cars basically blocking the view of the car next to you, and then they can just, I mean, they don't even have to throw in a blinker. I mean, they could just right-hand turn straight into you, And that's one of the key things for the reflective vest. No, it's not used all the time, and no, it's not being used right now when I'm on the sidewalk. But wearing the reflective vest opens up a lot more avenues where you're willing to ride in the road, where you're willing to go farther places. And I usually always try to keep it in my bag or backpack. I'm not always wearing it all the time when I'm trail riding and stuff like that. But say if I do want to hit the main road to go link to another trail or something like that, I think the reflective vest is absolutely key. And after riding for almost 5 years on these things, it's incredible how much more respect you get when you ride with the thing on. Anyways, though, Kingsong S18, one of the great things about it in the city environment is its acceleration and its speed up to 31 miles per hour. And that's what, like with the Kingsong 16X as well, they're fast accelerating wheels. You know, they get up to speed quick. It's an 18-inch wheel, so you know it powers right up to speed. I mean, it's noticeable. You know, you go from like a 19-inch M Super Pro, get on this, and your acceleration is a little bit snappier. You know, it's just like gearing ratio. You know, it's just a smaller diameter wheel. It gets going a little bit quicker. The only places where I really needed more speed was, say, when I'm hopping in the main road and I'm like on the outskirts of the city, where I'm about, I'd say about a mile out of the city, and traffic's getting fast, and I'm in the main road or whatever, and that's where I feel uncomfortable. In the inner city, I feel like I have plenty speed on this thing. Some scenarios you may want more, you know, always warranted, where more speed is definitely better. You know, there's scenarios where that veteran Sherman would get you out of a pickle, and this thing would leave you smoked by a car, you know, where you could really take off on that Sherman. Acceleration wise, say if you were going about 5 miles an hour and you had to accelerate to 15 to get out of the way of something, the S18 would do it better. But say if you're rolling 30 miles an hour and you need to accelerate to 45 to get out of the way of something real quick, that's where I'm talking about. This wheel just cannot do it. I think the special thing about this wheel, though, is it's different times. You know, it's 2020. We have suspension in a wheel that can go 31 miles per hour. And 31 miles per hour on one of these things is fast. You know, rewind to 2016. 31 miles per hour is nothing to scoff at on one of these things. And I think everybody that gets one, and if it's your first wheel, you're going to have a blast with it. So, giving you all a little sneak preview into the final comparison of the InMotion V11 and the S18. I was going to save this for the final video, but I'm going to talk about speed right now. I think that's kind of an important thing to talk about with these two. Top speed I was able to hit, and this is using the Relive app on your phone, and I don't know exactly how accurate that is. That's just what I use for my rides, and the cool thing about it is it'll just tell you your top speed during your ride. And so, I mean, that's pretty cool. You can see exactly where you hit your top speed and everything like that. When I do the InMotion V11 range test, I'll put in the Relive app information in there. But anyways, on the InMotion V11, I hit 36 miles per hour coming downhill with my weight, about 130 pounds, just pretty much, you know, just freewheeling at that point. You know, that there's no stress on the wheel or anything like that. And then it tilted me back. And I can hit 32 miles per hour on the Kingsong S18 on the pre-production. This is both pre-production models I'm talking about. And I hit 32 on the Kingsong S18, and then it was kicking me back. Not much of a difference, but it is a difference. You know, 4 miles per hour is, I mean, that is noticeable, you know. And whenever you're like boogieing down a mountain pass or something like that, or on the main road, I mean, it was a little bit noticeable, you know. It just, the InMotion's a little bit faster. So check this out. This is a cool thing I found on Amazon. Y'all are gonna like this coming up right here. So when I sit down, so what you just heard right there was just I barely pressed the top of it, but it's this air horn right here. Check this out. I found the absolute best horn for riding these things. And you take this thing, you fill it up with 90 pounds of pressure, and it with that valve right there. And it'll last a while. It's basically like it's like a reusable, just a reusable horn for like taking on your boat or whatever. And it's extremely loud. I'm trying to find somewhere to use it. It's so loud. Ready? It's a little bit loud, dude. Holy shit. There's people all the way over there like, what? Yeah, dude. This is amazing. It's so loud. Look. It's too much fun. So at the end of the day, the Kingsong S18 definitely has its place as an urban wheel. I mean, look, most wheels out there are about this speed. Most wheels out there have about this range, you know, and people are commuting on them in an urban environment every single day and loving it, getting to work, having a good time on it. This just throws an extra thrill in there. You know, you have that suspension. You can jump off stairs. You have an awesome suspension, you know. You can take it to the BMX park. You can take this, you can make jumps in your backyard. You know, you can set up obstacle courses around the house. You can get creative with this wheel. You know, you can really have a lot of fun with it. You got a good looking wheel. S18 is a fun wheel. You'll always try to find little things, little hits and little jumps and stuff like that that you would never do on any other wheel, just because it's so much easier and so much just, I mean, better to not just slam the ground, you know, when you go off a jump or hit something like that. You really will have fun with this wheel. I think anybody would, you know. This is the pre-production, and all the refinements. I mean, those production S18s look absolutely beautiful. You know, they look really good. The thicker padding on it. I love the gold on the back of the shocks that they did. I really like that they put the actual steel shock casings on there and whatnot, where your suspension travel is and whatnot. I think that's awesome. I think this is a great wheel. I think anybody would love it. I think the InMotion is too, you know, and I think you really cannot go wrong with either one of these. You know what type of rider you are, you know what you're going to do with it. And if you're a city rider, you know, where you're always looking for everything possible to jump off of, like, give me a little bit more time down here. I barely had any battery left, you know, in my Insta360 camera. This is kind of a spur of the moment thing, but I mean, you could really have fun with this wheel. You will never look at your city the same. You will always try to find anything and everything that you can jump off of with your S18, and you'll be able to have a blast on your commute, as with every other wheel. The link below, guys, takes you straight to eWheels. It is an affiliate link. It helps the channel. You can pre-order the V11, the Veteran Sherman, the S18, and get all of the latest wheels there. The M Super Pros, all that stuff. Link below, guys. I appreciate it. I'll see you on the next one.